Hello, everyone. This is the East Coast Economic Update for January the 11th, 2017. Took me a while to remember that. Some interesting things I would like to point out to you. There is going to be a list below, as always, with a number of hyperlinks. So here's what's going on. This is not a political blog or blog. This is strictly informational. What I'm about to say is this. No matter who became president, no matter who is walking into the White House in the next week, that person will be personally blamed for what is going to transpire in the next 3.5, 4 years. The issue here is very simple. We hit a major drop in 2008. Part of the reason was because what should have happened in 2001 is happening now in 2017, 2016, whatever. What caused, and this is historical, what caused the great crash of 2007 was two reasons. One, we ran out of things to produce. All we had for the possibilities to offer debt. The only way we could get debt is if we could get other people, not just the government, but individual American people, or people in general, it didn't matter if you were a citizen or not, in debt. And we created a bubble on purpose. The CDO bubble was set up because what they had seen, what analysts had seen coming down the pike since the personal computer becoming marketable in earnest around the 1988 to 1992. The moment they saw that automation was growing, as Moore's law indicates, exponentially, every 18 months a new aspect has occurred, it became quite clear to everyone, as I always say, it was baked in the cake. It became quite clear to those who were doing an analysis that employment in its classic sense, in the industrial sense, was over. And what slowed that process from coming to fruition was first the bubble that eventually popped in 2000, officially in 2007, but really came to reality by 2009. There was a gigantic increase in unemployment, partially due to the fact that all the mechanisms that were around this creation of a bubble gave people jobs. You know, you had people doing banking and banking-related services and closing and foreclosing and so forth, and even helping people flip. So there was all that business that was surrounded. Once that bubble collapsed, then the job market completely cratered. What occurred from 2008 to now, or 2013, 2014, was a suppression of that information. In reality, if we did not have the bubble of 1995 to 2005, what is going to happen now would have happened under George Bush Jr. in earnest. For those conspiracy theorists, put on your tinfoil hats, and you can extrapolate what you want from 9/11 and the incredible increase in military industrial complex that occurred as part of that extending of the industrial model through keeping people employed in a war that had nothing to do with what occurred on 9/11, but that's for a different time. What is happening now is what was supposed to happen 17 years ago. We've reached a point here. Moore's law indicates that once we created nanotechnology, became a reality for us as an industrial idea, practice, and operational model, just like the personal computer, around 2005. So by 2015, we now have 3D printers, and now we have what is growing into a nanotech industry. Not only that, but we have now computers that we can talk across the country, across the world, in real time, and technology that would require people to work 5-10 people in an office has now eliminated it to a laptop and the owner of a company. Just to give you a concept, what I do for a living as a consultant, I used to have an office with, this is back in 2000, 2001, I had an office of 8 people, all doing the jobs that this laptop now does. And now I've shrunk that 7 to 12 people down to myself and 2 part-timers. So this is how it's going. And as this is progressing, you're going to see a marketed drop in a marketed increase in joblessness, in unemployment, and so forth. I'm not here to scare you. What I'm telling you is that if you are thinking about doing some type of job or industry or craft that's a cottage industry, I would strongly encourage you to do that. Gerald Salente, my friend Doug Cote-Hallow have all indicated that getting a college degree, unless you are going to college to really broaden your horizons in the truest sense, is pretty useless at this point, unless it's specific to a job that you know that you're going to be doing. And those jobs that are going to continue until probably 2030 are going to be dealing with the elderly, personal health care, in other words, nursing, doctors, and so forth. The technology will increase on that, but the personal service issues, that's where the money is now. Also, cottage industries such as woodworking, cheese making, beer making, wine making, artisan stuff like that, where you can find a market. The only difference is that instead of you opening a storefront, which I would tell you right now would be a disaster if you thought of doing that, but creating a website and creating and using the infrastructure that is already there with UPS and FedEx and so forth to get your product not to market, but to those who are asking for it or looking for it. You will have personal service for the foreseeable future, as well as the gig economy. And we can talk, I'll do a video on the gig economy probably after this one, just to give you more detail, are going to be the 2 major aspects in which the world will be working. Right now, you have an entire generation of people, millennials and their children, which are coming about now, who never leave their house. If they want something, they order it on Amazon. Amazon has finally become a $1 trillion company for the first time. While everybody was looking at silliness with emails with candidates and the like, quietly, the infrastructure that Amazon has created has now surpassed Google and Apple as the most wealthiest company in the world. It supplies everything with everyone's needs in a heartbeat, whether it's on your phone or what have you. That is an indicator, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a business person like myself, your future is in that model. Not that you should become an Amazon, but if you have products that you want to sell, you need to sell them directly to the customer. You need to create a website. You need to hook up with Amazon because they're a good platform for that sort of thing. And make sure your customer service is pristine, because that's going to separate you from whatever else might come about. The point is, if you start now, the Johnny-come-latelys that are going to come behind you because out of desperation, because their storefronts are gone or not being used because people are not walking into stores anymore, you'll have a foothold. And we'll talk about in more detail in another video what is going to happen after 2020. But suffice it to say, the finger pointing that's going to occur is going to happen on this particular present administration. They will begin to blame the prior administration, but it won't make a difference because the optics, as you know, with the mainstream media, the optics is everything, and they're going to inundate people with an idea that Republicanism or independent business owners and so forth are useless and see nobody's employed. And sadly, the promises that this particular administration has made promises about holding jobs in the United States, well, I hate to break the news to you, but Carrier, Ford, and most of these guys are staying here not because because they're afraid of this president, but because they've just made a decision going, fine, doesn't matter where I am, I'm going to automate this stuff, whether I'm in Timbuktu or I'm in Dearborn, Michigan, or wherever I may be. It doesn't matter. The robots don't go on strike, and they don't ask for health insurance, they don't get pregnant, and they don't retire. When they're useless to us, we unhook them, we throw them out, or we upgrade their software. And that is the reality of manufacturing at this point. And this is where it's going to go. Once we hit 3D printing, those companies, for the most part, will be on its last legs. Because once you're able to build something, or build something in a large way, first, shirts, like I was saying a couple of videos ago, or what have you, eventually dealerships will just have gigantic 3D printers and say, what car do you want, what color do you want it in, and what are the amenities you would like, and it just comes out the other side like a sausage through a grinder. And this is the reality. The economy is changing. Many of you see it already, but even more of you are going to feel it if you don't make a move now. If you sit here, stare at me, and have done nothing to do what I had suggested, then you are fully on your own shoulders at fault. Don't blame other people. Don't blame me. Don't blame the government. Put it on yourself, because you see what's going on. All you have to do is open your eyes and look around. You can take two major views. One, an apocalyptic view, in the sense that you think the whole world's going to go on fire and you're going to go with it, which I think is unrealistic on many ways, on many levels. Or the second view, which is you're going to grow and use these new technologies as a tool and still continue to do the life you want to live. And in fact, through these technologies, Amazon and so forth and so on, you're able to create a world of your own for your own lifestyle. So until next time, peace and do good.